friends. Today I'm making a vegan Easter ham. At least I'm going to try. And in here I have a cup and a half of Vital Wheat gluten and a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. Alright, so here's my spice mix, and there's quite a lot of spices in here. I have 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of beet powder, 1 teaspoon of ginger, 2 teaspoons of ham base, and that's vegan Carrington Farms, 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves, 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/4 teaspoon of annatto, 1 teaspoon of smokehouse maple, and 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. The annatto is more for color, so it gives it an orangey yellow color, and I wanted this roast to sort of resemble ham a little bit. So anyway, that is all going to go into my other spice mix here. So I just wanted to show you, this is the ham broth base, and it's vegan and it's ham flavored, and that's in there as well. So we're going to mix all that up and stick it into our Vital Wheat gluten mixture. Okay, so I'm going to mix this all up. And the beet powder is in there. It's nutritious, and it's also in there for color, because I would like to keep this more on the red instead of the brown side. But if you don't have it, you can leave it out. You don't need the annatto either. That's mainly for coloring too, so if you don't have that, you can leave that out too. So, alrighty. I'll be back in a minute. You can get this online. I got this on Amazon. You can order it there. And the beet powder I actually got at Walmart, and I'll show you that in a minute too. I imagine you can get this beet powder on Amazon too, but Walmart does carry this, and it's also from Carrington Farms. And this is the annatto seed. I got that on Amazon as well. So, and a little of all this goes a long way. So now I'm going to add my spices to my Vital Wheat gluten. And I know it looks like a lot, but Vital Wheat gluten doesn't have much flavor. So I'm going to mix this all up with a whisk, and then I'm going to come back and add my wet ingredients. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so here are my liquid ingredients. I have a 1/2 cup of tofu crumbled in there. You can also use white beans or hummus. 3 tablespoons tomato paste, 2 tablespoons maple syrup, 1/2 cup of pickled beet juice. If you don't have pickled beet juice, you could use regular beet juice, but the pickled beet juice gives it a really nice flavor. 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of mustard. I used yellow, 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, and a 1/4 cup of soy milk, but you can use almond milk, whatever you have. So I'm going to blend this up until it's very smooth, and then add it to my Vital Wheat gluten mixture. Alright, so this is how it looks when it's all blended up. It's rather pretty. I'm going to add this now to my Vital Wheat gluten. And I may need to add more Vital Wheat gluten or a little more liquid. I'm not sure. You kind of have to go by feel a little bit. So anyway, that's what I'm going to mix this with, is a spatula. And then I'm going to knead it once I get everything incorporated. So just get it all blended in with your spatula first. And I'll be back in a minute and we'll start the kneading process. Okay, so I can tell from the texture, the dough is a little soft. So I'm going to add a little bit more Vital Wheat gluten to it, just a little bit at a time. Doesn't take much. And then I'm going to start kneading this into the dough. At this texture, it would be good for sausages, but I don't want a sausage. I want a loaf, and I want it to be like a little bit firmer, like a ham or a roast. So I'm going to need to put a little bit more in. And there's no real science to this. It's sort of just you have to go a little bit by feel. You don't want it too hard of a dough, but you don't want it too soft. So you're just going to keep kneading until everything's incorporated. So far I've added a couple tablespoons yet. And I think I'm going to need just a little bit more, but it's getting there. And the longer you knead this, once you get it to the right texture, the firmer it's going to get. So you want it somewhere in between tender and firm. Okay, this is coming together better, but I think it still needs a little bit more. So I'm going to add a 1/3 tablespoon. Now this pink color that it is, it won't stay that color. It's going to turn a little more brownish. So, but the beets and the annatto do keep it looking a little bit more like ham, but it's not necessary. It doesn't really change the flavor that much, whether you use pickled beets or just beet juice, but you do need the beet juice. So this is much better, but I think I still need just a little bit more because it's not quite as elastic as I want it. So this is, originally I had 1.5 cups. So I'm thinking this is going to need closer to 2 cups of Vital Wheat gluten. But we'll see. So this is coming more together now for a roast. So I'm going to take it out of the bowl so you can see it a little better. But see how it's starting to pull back on itself? That's what you want to see. And I think I could use just a tad more. So I'm going to put 1 more tablespoon in, because I want to make this for a lunch meat ham too. So what I don't eat for dinner, I'll have as a lunch meat. So I'm going to work this in, and then I'm going to knead it for about 3 minutes to work up the gluten strands. And this is very high protein. I believe it's 80% protein. And the tofu also adds more protein to it, and the nutritional yeast adds B vitamins, which is important, as you all know, for people that don't eat meat. So yeah, this is better. But see how elastic it is? So I'll be back after I get this mixed up. So this is the glaze I'm going to be making, and it's 1/2 cup of pineapple juice, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and a good tablespoon of maple syrup. So use whatever mustard you like, and mix it up real well. And then this is going on the roast after it's done cooking. So my roast has been sitting here for like 10 minutes. I let it rest a little bit. You don't need to do that, but I did. So I have it now on a piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to wrap it up in that. And we're going to be steaming this. So I also want to wrap it up with some foil because this is going to expand and you don't want it to get mushy. So I'm just going to wrap this up in the foil. And then I'm going to stick it in my steamer and steam it for an hour. So there we go, nice little package. So there's our ham roast. And I'll be back when this is done steaming. Like I said, you put it in a steamer for an hour. If you have an Instant Pot with a steamer, you could put it in there for 30 minutes and check it then. So either way, but make sure when you're steaming your roast that you don't run out of water, and you don't actually want the roast sitting in the water. You want it just on top of the water. So I'll be back when my roast is done and I'll show you the next step. So you guys all know how much I love my kitchen gadgets. So this is my steamer. I have my roast in there and I have it set for an hour. So I always use this when I'm making roasts or sausages or whatever I'm steaming. So, oops, there's my coffee. I've had this for years and years and years. It's, I don't even know what it is. It doesn't really say. But if you have a steamer like this, you can use this instead of a pot with water. But not necessary. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. So while my roast is cooking, I just wanted to come on and wish everybody a very happy Easter. I know, weirdest Easter ever, right? So I'm here alone by myself today, and the grandson is with his mama. And I'm kind of just having a really peaceful day, so it's not a bad thing. And I'm sure a lot of you are spending time by yourself in your house too. But let's just hope and pray that by next Easter, or next holiday actually, that this whole isolation thing has blown over and we're back to our regular life and enjoying other people's company. So that's all I wanted to say. I want to just wish you all a happy Easter, and I'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty, here is the ham. The Seitan ham. Now what I'm going to do, this just came out and it's feels good so far. I'm going to score the top to this because I want some of this glaze to go down into the ham. So, and this will firm up as it sits in the fridge. And if you want a firmer seitan, add more vital wheat gluten and knead it longer. So I'm just making some cross hatches on top of this. And then I'm going to pour some of this glaze over it. So I have my glaze all mixed up here. and I'm going to just put some on, and then I'm going to bake it in a 375 oven, and do that for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the other side and bake it for another 10-15 minutes. Now you want to keep an eye on this because you don't want it to burn, and everybody's oven is a little different. So this is what I'm going to put in for now, and I will probably baste it a couple more times during the first 15 minutes. So I'll be back when I turn it and you can see what it looks like. Alright, here's the ham after 10 minutes. So I'm going to put more glaze on, stick it in for another 5, and then I'm going to turn it over. Make sure you get plenty of that delicious glaze on there. It's going to add a lot of flavor to your seitan. Alright, so I'm going to pop that back in. Now I'm going to have this with some instant mashed potatoes because I'm too lazy to make regular mashed potatoes just for me, and a salad, and I'll be back in a second after I put this in. Alright, I'm going to have the rest of my salad. Now I bought this romaine over a month ago, and I showed you guys how I preserve my produce. Now it is getting a little dark here, just at the tips, so I'm just going to take that off. But this lettuce is at least 5 weeks old, if not 6. So I'm going to have that with my instant mashed potatoes and ham for dinner, and I'll show this to you when I get it all plated up. So in case you missed this video of how I preserve this lettuce, I'll try and remember to leave a link, an iCard in the description box. I think it's over here. Here or here? Somewhere. But this is how I do it. Just take paper towel. Now this is not washed. I wash it afterwards. And I just wrap it up all the way like a little package. And this is a green bag. This one's actually yellow, but and I stick it in there. I press as much air out as I can just by rolling it up. And then, and this is how I keep it in my crisper. And I'm amazed at how long this lasts. I really, really am. Alright, the ham is done. Here's what it looks like. Smells really good. I thickened up the rest of the glaze with a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to put that over my potatoes. These are just instant mashed potatoes. They're garlic, and these are those Idahoan potatoes. And I make those with just soy milk. I don't really put a lot of water in it. So I make that with 2 cups of soy milk. But, you know, you do whatever you think you like the best. So let me give this little guy a cut here. Alright, it seems really tender. It's not as pink as I would have liked it, but that's okay. It doesn't have to look like meat, because if you don't eat meat, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to look like meat. But here's what it looks like. So let me give it a little taste test. And I'm going to dip it in a little bit of that glaze. It's nice and tender. So just dip a little glaze in there. And here we go. It's really good, guys. Especially if you add more glaze, more little thickened glaze. Gives it a really good flavor. So I'm going to have this now with, I have a nice chopped salad here. And I'm going to have that and the potatoes, and that's my Easter dinner. So anyway, if you give this a try, let me know. There we go. And this is something that you can take to an Easter dinner or serve to your family. It does firm up when you put it in the fridge. So if you want to use it as a lunch meat, put it in the refrigerator for a while and then slice it up. So you can eat it either warm or cold. Have a sandwich with some mayo and lettuce and whatever you eat with ham. Maybe put some cheese on it. So all right, my friends, I'm going to get this posted before Easter's over with. Again, I want to wish you a very happy Easter. I hope you're all safe and your families are all safe. And I wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.